Here we have a 2186 Cub, complete basket case. Hasn't run in 2 years. We just picked it up over the weekend. It would not crank, it would not start, and as you can see, the engine's out of it now. We were a little concerned at first that the engine might be locked up because we couldn't get it to crank on site, but we found that the starter was faulty and there was some bad wiring in between here and there. So we fixed that, got the engine to crank over fine, and drained the fuel system, cleaned everything out, and got it to run. And then after we got it to run, we noticed the carb was needing some attention, so we rebuilt the carb, and it ran, but it started running worse and worse the more it ran. And so what we found, there's the CH18 on the bench there. What we found is this. Focus. Yeah, that ain't good. And that ain't good either, really. That one's got some deposits there. What you're seeing is oil burning, excessive oil burning on this side, and there's on the other side. So this is cylinder 1 right here. This is the rod and piston from cylinder 1. I got it marked. And this is from cylinder 2. And we tore down the engine to figure out what was going on. So we were thinking maybe the head gaskets were blown. So we checked, head gaskets were not blown. Cylinders were a little out of spec. I mean, they were a little warm, but they weren't terrible. Definitely no scratches or gouges or anything. So we ran a hone through them. And double checked to make sure we were still within factory spec. And we are. So the cylinders don't need bored. We're looking at cylinder 2 measured 3 and 33.5 thousandths just about. And cylinder 1 was 3 inches and 33 and almost to 34 thousandths. The factory spec for a used bore, the max is 3 and 34 thousandths. So we're still in spec on the bores. Pistons measured okay on the thrust face here. You can see they're not terribly worn. They got a little bit of it's worn off. You can see where the factory machining is a little smooth there, but no major scuffing or anything. Unfortunately, though, the top part of the piston measured quite a bit out. So we're going to have some piston slap if we use these pistons. And so we priced out some rings and some pistons. And we're also pricing out rods for this dude. Marked this guy. They don't look bad, except for this one right there. You can see that little dimple right there. I can run my fingernail across it, just barely, but you can see the little piece of dirt got in there. The engine sounded nice and quiet. There was no knocking or anything like that, and all the rest, the journals all look good, but if we're in it this far, you know, Kohler still makes the rods for these because I think they share rods between engine series, but they don't make an 18 horse anymore. So we're pricing out rods. Kohler can provide those, so that's great. They don't make the pistons anymore. They don't make the rings anymore. So we're going to have to go aftermarket with those, and we're going to use this guy as a kind of a test mule to see how it does. I didn't see any significant overheating issues here, but you can tell this is an engine with it. The meter says 800 hours or close to it. The crank seal is basically just falling out on this side, so that's why it's all gross there. And you know, that has been like that for a while. I mean, the thing's not new. So it looks like we're gonna get pretty much a full rebuild on this. And we might throw it back in the chassis and clean this guy up and rehome it. I don't know yet. I don't really have a direct use for the CH18 yet. We might just rebuild it and use it for a customer. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a little heads up what we're working on in the shop today. Rebuilding a Command. So, yeah, thanks for watching.